This tutorial is going to show you how to use Adobe Spark to make a collage. So the first thing you want to do is go to Google and type in Adobe Spark. Click on the very first option that you have here and open it up. So if you've never logged into Adobe Spark before, you'll probably have to use your email. Preferably use your school email address, and then we'll be using this to create different projects throughout the year, including a portfolio at the end, and you can see that you could use it for your own personal use as well, in case you want to ever create a web page, a slideshow presentation, any kind of social media posts, and things like that. So you're just going to want to choose the very first collage option after you log in. And they typically give you a bunch of pictures already to use if you want to just kind of play around with the program for a while, just to get used to it. That's very helpful. But we want to use our very own pictures. So you are going to upload your images. And if you prefer, you can also, I believe you can scroll down, but it's not showing. There we go. I just had something down there. So you could also skip this option if you don't have your pictures on your computer. If they are on Google Drive, I will show you how to access your pictures from Google Drive as well. So you don't have to do a terrible amount of uploading and downloading and all that good stuff. So my pictures are on the computer, so I will show you how to do that. And then I'll go back to the Google Drive option as well. So I'm going to upload and find the folder that I want. It actually opened right up. It was on my desktop. I called it Dia de los Muertos for this assignment. And so I just collected a bunch of images that I would like to use. And there's a couple ways that you could do this. Instead of doing one at a time, clicking one and opening it, all that stuff, what I'd rather you do is select all of them all at once. So I'm just clicking and dragging. Another option is to hold the control button down. If, say, you don't want to use all of them, you can just click, click, click while holding the control button down. Okay, and then you select open, and all of them will load here. And then you click on next. And again, if you don't want to do the pictures from the computer, just go ahead and skip that. I'm going to choose a landscape. There's a bunch of different social media options here, but we're going to limit our options right now to square or landscape. So I will select landscape, select next. And the thing about Adobe Spark is it's really about creating your own brand. So it's kind of cool if you want to ever, if you have ideas about creating things, if you're a really creative person, like I know some people are designers, like fashion designers, like, or if you're painting shoes or sweatshirts or whatever the case may be, customizing skateboards or something, you could definitely use Adobe Spark in your own personal life. And you could get some really eye-catching kind of advertisements. Okay, so what you'll see here is they automatically put your pictures in order. You could, of course, change that order. And it looks like I have one additional one that I was just kind of playing with. So I'm going to need to remove that. But before I do that, let me show those of you who want to use Google Drive instead of uploading pictures from your computer. So you'll just come over here to the right and click on Add, and you'll select Photo. And then you can upload photos again from your computer if you need to go back there. But then if you just kind of scroll down here, you might even have pictures in Google Photos, but you can also connect to Google Drive. So you will just kind of go through the motions there to connect to Google Drive, go to your account, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm not going to go through all the motions there, but I will go back to my collage. But it's basically the same as what I showed you. You'll just you can hold the control button down as you select the pictures that you want. Okay, so it's taking a little bit to load here. But the thing that I want to do is go into my layout because that is going to let me rearrange things. It's going to let me get rid of this guy. So I'm going to select my layout because I want to get like different options for this. So for example, you could change the border size if you wanted to, and notice how it locks in with the cell size. You can also kind of change that, unlock the two, and then the border could just be around the edges if you wanted to, or or just kind of shrinking the size of the pictures themselves. But I like the way that it is. I'm just going to keep it that way. So, so they also have other suggested layouts for you. I highly recommend that you use one of their suggestions because, I have pictures that are both horizontal and vertical, and so with those with combining both of those together, I want to select one that's going to be easy for that but if you have all pictures that are vertical, this might work well for you, but it kind of cuts off too much, and I don't really like that. And I also have to get rid of that one guy up there. So I'm just going to go with one that they had suggested. Okay, so if you're like me and you have a picture that you want to potentially delete or you want to get rid of, what you could do is just select it and delete it. Okay, so you can delete the cell, delete the content, and if you delete the content, I think that means that basically you will, just have a blank space in there, which could actually be kind of cool. So that kind of gives me an idea to maybe add in just a blank spot where you can put your name or whatever the case may be, but I'll just kind of stick with what I have here. So now that I am looking at this, I'm kind of analyzing my photos and thinking like, okay, well, this picture of my dog Bessie, she might look better somewhere else. So what I can do is I can replace images or I could swap them. So I think this just kind of switched on me very just kind of automatically. And so you could see how the picture here is selected itself. And so I think I can even pick this up and maybe swap it with the one that is above it. And I think that actually looks really nice because with this picture, it doesn't really matter. It does matter kind of the position of it. I kind of like how it went naturally because it has like this nice detail of these flowers here. But then I like how this one, you can actually see my full dog there, right? And everything else looks pretty good. You do want to kind of see if you want to kind of move any of these. I've got one there, and yeah, everything looks pretty good. So now that you've got your pictures here, you can also edit those images. So from here, I believe if I go to, that's adding an image, I can go to filters. Okay, so this isn't so much of the editing controls that we're used to on our phones, but here you can access all of that stuff. So depending on the picture that you're on, I think right now I don't have any pictures selected. So I imagine that if I slide this over, it might change the entire image, or I'm not sure which one it's changing there. So you want to make sure that it's actually doing something, right? So let me close that up. Oh, it must have been this one. I didn't notice that this one was selected. So let me go back. Yeah, now I see it. Okay, you might have been a little bit more observant there, but I didn't see that one changing. So you could change them all sort of individually. I kind of like how they are. I think this one could maybe use a little bit of contrast, just a tiny bit. I might even move this one over a little bit just to make that adjustment. You could sharpen some of them so that you could really pick out the details. Um, this one I feel like needs a little something, so I might even make that one black and white and see, although it is a chair by Van Gogh, so I kind of want to keep it in color. Black and white didn't really do what I wanted it to, and Van Gogh is all about color, so I'm going to just bump up the saturation so it's really nice and bright and vibrant. Maybe let me pick up the contrast a little bit so it stands out a bit. There we go. That's good. I've got one black and white there. That's fine. I don't need a whole lot. Um, all right. And so you've got filters, you've got effects. I don't know about a blur, but you can do all kinds of things. You can play around with these pictures. I think you could even remove the background on some of them. It's just a matter of kind of clicking around and seeing Yeah, there's remove background. So for example, if I wanted to get rid of the background on any of them, which I really don't because I'm pretty proud of these pictures and I like the way that they look, you can also do that. But just to kind of bring attention to something. You could also replace pictures, obviously. You could flip them. You can flip them horizontally. Well, it's not really showing much there, but like say if I took this picture of my dog Bessie, I could flip that one if I wanted to. Um, or if I only had a couple pictures, maybe I do something really creative where, I've got a mirror image of two pictures next to each other. So there's that. You could also flip them upside down if you wanted to. So, um, so once you're pretty happy with it, and I think I'm pretty happy with this, then I will go ahead and download. And you want to download a JPEG of this. So click on JPEG and start the download. And then the download should pop up right down here and it should show up right in your download folder. So this will be on the computer. You can transfer it over to your Google Drive if you wanted to. But basically when I open this up and show it in the folder, then my collage, it's going to pop up over here. My collage is just about ready to go. Now I just have to find it. Here it is. And it's popping up on my other screen. And there it is, ready to go. It's all in one.